And we are back, folks, for another edition of the Monday Morning Quarterback Film Study with the man himself, my brother DG, Devin Gardner, number 98, number 12, number 7. Did I get all your numbers?
All that.
All that. What was your favorite?
I was 15 with the Patriots for a second.
Okay.
I was 15 with the Steelers and Patriots, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
My favorite number is 7. The only reason I stopped wearing it is because I was on the bench, and I felt like I was disrespecting Michael Vick. Yeah, 7 is I'm number 7.
Okay.
And like my whole life from little kid, the first time I wore it was when I was 9. Yep, I was 9 my first time wearing it, and I wore it from 9 to 13. And then 14, I played at UAD, so I had to wear number 10 because they didn't have single digits. Goofy, should have knew. But when they said that, I should have never went to the school. But I had to wear, I had like 17, and then I'm like, this 17 kind of dirty. Like the home version, the Herm jersey was a little dirty on the shoulders. I said, you know what? Just give me 10. I'll be Vince Young for a year or for however long. And then I went to Inkster, got the 7 back. And then I went to Michigan. Somebody had 7. I said, listen, guys, I'm wearing 7. I want to tell you guys. So I got the 7. I forgot who had it or whatever, but I had the 7. And then, moving in, I'm just like, dude, I'm not playing nearly enough. I am not Michael Vick because Michael Vick doesn't sit and watch. And so I'm like, hey, man, change my number, man. I want to wear number 12. I'll be Randall Cunningham, but I can't keep disrespecting the man. And then that was the year I took off. I should have kept my 7. Devastating.
And then you went from 7 to
12. Yeah, but 12 was nice. I as number 12, and this is my claim. I haven't done the research or anything, but I had 4 receiving touchdowns. I think 12 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns. I'm sure nobody in history has like a 4, 7, 12 or more than 10 and whatever. But them four receiving touchdowns really do it. Because the only person that's going to get over 4 receiving touchdowns is a receiver. It's going to be hard to get 12 touchdowns if you're a receiver passing. You know what I mean? It's just too much. So I like to think of myself as the greatest Swiss Army knife in the history of Michigan football. Yep.
Yeah, you certainly.
That year,
no one can argue that you would at least be in the mix, in the running. Be in the mix, right? One of the favorites, right?
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of favorites, this is a favorite show of if you're a Michigan fan and you really want to know what's going on with Michigan, especially when it comes to quarterback play. This is absolutely a favorite. That's why we keep doing it. Because, as I say at the beginning of every episode, we do not own the footage that we use in these videos. Because it's not owned by us, we do not get any sponsorship, no advertising, no money in any way, shape, or form. It's strictly for the education, edification, and entertainment of you, the viewer. Now, you can help the show keep going and growing by helping to fund the film studies. I see you guys every week. Some people, they pop in and they like, hey, love what you got going with DG. We got to keep it up. We got to keep it going. We got to keep it growing. See that link right here in the comment section underneath the video or in the description of the video. Either will work. You click that. We keep the campaign going all season. That's how you can make this thing go and grow. So make it happen. Now, DG, a game
and
like
also,
this.
one more thing. Some people are saying, well, I don't have the PayPal. I can't get to that. You can donate right to the DG Venmo fund if you want. I'm just telling you, that is an option. I don't even know how to Gardner Devin J. If you're feeling frisky, you know what I mean? You can't get to the PayPal, whatever reason, I don't care. You can go right to the Gardner Devin J. Venmo account. Go on.
All right, here we go, folks. We get into 31-7 as the Wolverines take care of business in their Big Ten opener. This was an effort coming off of one that was
lackluster.
Admittedly, they called it sloppy. They called it not up to standard. All those things, which we could see with our own eyes.
And how much they win by on that one?
Yeah, they won all the games comfortably.
Yeah,
but didn't play as clean.
Of course,
didn't play as clean as they wanted to play.
100%.
And this is a team, Rutgers, that has played them tough the last couple of years, right?
People have picked to win them. To win.
That was ridiculous.
He did.
Somebody was high.
At least one person in this world, and I know it was way more than one because I saw it on the internet before this. Pat McAfee picked him. At least one person for sure thought that Rutgers could win. So,
Weed is legal. Very legal.
It do make your brain scrambled eggs,
I don't get it. Rutgers has given no one any reason to believe they can throw the ball, consistently enough to be a real team. Like, they're going to be a middle-of-the-pack Big Ten team.
Yeah, they're going to beat somebody they shouldn't beat because Shiano's a good coach, and I think that the young quarterback Gavin Wimsatt is going to continue to get better. They're going to beat somebody they're not supposed to beat, but Michigan was a little out there.
And so the point to me was, though, defensively, they have made Michigan play for at least a half, if not three quarters, the last couple of seasons. So this was going to be a test, and Michigan was able to rebound, and specifically J.J. McCarthy, who you talked about coming off of the Bowling Green game, not getting too far out of, don't get too bent out of shape. This is not a dude who is a habitual offender.
Yeah.
He's going to get right back on track. Felt like he did that.
Yeah, he definitely got right back on track. All the things that you want to see. Like, it was so clean that we don't even have a whole bunch it's nothing to talk about for real. You know what I mean? He came out and it was business as usual. Not like the usual that you saw a week ago against Bowling Green, but he just came in and did what he's supposed to do. He got in the run game some. I didn't think I would see that in this game, but yeah, I mean, he's doing the things that we know he's capable of doing, accurate with the ball, kind of building off of the things we talked about last week, actually, and we're going to kind of break that down. But remember last week when we talked about the depth of the defense, right? Knowing the depth of the defense before you get balls thrown over there. And I don't know, I'm sure he didn't watch the show or anything like that, but that's something that it looked like it was featured just a little bit. And it's kind of the way the style of play that they have, right? The high-low stuff. But he had an opportunity to get to a read quickly when knowing that he won't have a whole bunch of time, even though it was 6-on-6, right? You got a linebacker versus a running back. That you can't depend on that block to last a super long time. But quickly gets to the read with a little pocket movement. That was really, really good. So still steady improvement, but, man, it was business as usual.
So let's bring up the first play from the telestrations this week. Mr. Gardner.
Yeah, so there you go. You got 6-on-6, right? So they're not going zero because they're going to have a middle-high safety, but they're going all everybody else, right? They're not going zero blitz, but they're going fairly close to zero with just one high safety. And so you got 5 offensive linemen, obviously, for 5 guys, and I think it was impressive they were able to shake this out. And then Donovan is going to take out the linebacker, or it might be a safety, whoever it is, a smaller guy, right? You're going to go big on big, Bob, big on big. You want to get big guys on big guys, and then you want to try to leave the smallest guy usually, which is a safety or linebacker, for your running back. And they do a very good job of shaking this out, right? But you got man-to-man across the board, right? Man-to-man, you're going to have outside leverage, right? Because why? The middle safety is where your help is, right? So you're going to have outside leverage, especially from those inside slot guys. The outside corners can use the sideline as that help, so they can jump inside if they like. So this is outstanding. But how about the concept, right? So it's kind of a mesh concept, right? And you're going to get Cornelius Johnson across the field, right? And obviously that's going to take the defender with him, right? And when that takes the defender, now you want to check to see what is the depth of the defense. Well, the depth of the defense is leaving because it's man-to-man, right? So when you know Cornelius Johnson is going across the field and you got the person that could be the depth to the defense is leaving as well, there is nobody there. So pre-snap, right? Once you see it's man-to-man, you know you got this pressure coming. JJ knows where this ball should go, right? This ball is probably going where there's going to be a huge vacancy where there's no depth of the defense, and that's where it does go. And after we show this play, the route running of Roman continues to rear its pretty head, I would say, right? He's doing an outstanding job with the details and the way that he's running his routes, and it really helps this pattern be open so it can be hit by JJ with nice and run at the catch.
So once he confirms his man-to-man with the motion, he knows right now.
There's no depth to the defense. I'm getting my fastest guy on the field running to this spot on the field where you see the illustration depth of the defense. The depth of the defense is zero. There is no depth of the defense, right? Watch. The depth of the defense leaves, chases, right? We know we can get that ball over there right now. That's a nice job. Now, the tiny intricacies of this play, and it's really by Roman Wilson. I'm very impressed with the way he's able to run routes and use his eyes and his head and his body language to make sure that he gets what he wants, right? So a lot of mistakes the guys make, obviously he's going to motion down. A lot of mistakes the guys make is when they go shallow cross, they just start sprinting across the field, right? Which is good because if you're much faster than the guy, you can outrun them or whatever. But this is college football. This is a Big Ten, right? There are guys that can run everywhere. No matter how good they are at football, we got guys that can run usually. And so what you want to do is you want to make sure that because he has inside leverage, leave him there. right? Force him to stay there and force him to think that maybe you're attacking him outside and then go across the field. So let it run. Instead of just running straight across the field, he gives eyes and body language vertical, right? It makes the DB, hey, he has to stop, right? Because if he goes vertical, he has to change the way he's running. He can't just sprint and chase you across the field. Well, he's not actually going vertical. He's going to go across the field, but the head and eyes to freeze this guy sets up the separation that you need to get across and make sure it's a friendly throw for the quarterback, if that makes sense. All right, so he gives head and eyes, outstanding, and then snaps this thing off. Very good. So he wins this route right away. And now you can raise. You see how the guy put his hands up to try to collision him. Now you can't collision, right? Because that's what you want to do when you get shallow cross and you're man-to-man. You know you're at the disadvantage, right? Because you're the inside leverage guy because you're letting him go. So now you want to make sure you try to collision him. He gives him head and eyes, body language vertical, and then snaps it off. And now he's not wide open, but he's open to make sure that it's a friendly throw for the quarterback. That's outstanding. That is really good stuff by Roman Wilson. Remember, we kind of highlighted last week how he was able to run a corner post and his head and eyes on that route really freed him up to be almost wide open on that one. So because if he doesn't do what he does at the beginning, this is a much tighter throw. Now you got the DB closer because we're just running next to each other, and you're able to reach your hand in there and try to stop this throw. And well, because he does what he does, it's not able to happen. Outstanding job by Roman Wilson, and obviously JJ does a nice job because he's running fast, right, across the field, and you got pressure. No need to look at the rush. You know you're protected. You already checked the depth of the defense. You know nobody's over there, right? So give him a nice ball he can continue to catch and run with. Very nice job.
All right. So and you see Cornelius Johnson coming up underneath on the other cross, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Cornelius, he did his in the route, right? So he kind of stair-stepped during the route, which it didn't free him up a whole bunch, but I think he's the pick guy. I think he's the guy in the mesh that is setting up for Roman Wilson to get the ball.
So I like to, when I'm watching games on Sunday, I always try to see if there's some things we can grab for the show. Like last year when we were watching the TCU game, and it just so happened the play we broke down.
Joe Burrow, wasn't it?
It was Joe Burrow who threw the same route on a plant throw instead of a hitch step.
And he executed it.
And he executed it right. So we were able to bring that to people to illustrate what we were talking about.
We're not far away.
Yeah, there were so many people who were like, oh, he
can't read.
He can't read, or he stared it down.
Confirmation bias, right? Oh, man, I'm finally can confirm that what I thought about him not being able to read defense and all that, even though we've presented you with quite a bit of evidence, you just ignore the evidence and say, hey, we finally got him. I finally got him. Well, that's why this show is here.
Yeah, and so Joe Burrow showed you the same throw against the same coverage and nailed it, right?
Yeah,
so
nailed it. Just different footwork in the execution.
There's this feeling, this sentiment that, Michigan's, their pass game, their play structure is just very rudimentary.
That's a nice word choice. I'm going to have to steal that.
Yeah, that
rudimentary.
They don't have enough. They don't bring enough sophistication to the passing game to really be potent in a big game. Now we saw them be potent against Ohio State.
It's like they never saw it. It's crazy.
Saw them be potent late in the season, but watching the Miami Dolphins,
who just scored 70,
the very, very first touchdown looked a lot like that play we just watched.
A little deeper version of it,
right? Looks a great deal
and
like.
Theirs were against zone. Right, so it's against zone, so it shook out just a little differently. But to your point, rudimentary, right? Everybody's running the same stuff. What can you put guys in the right position? If you're a coach or offensive coordinator, can you put guys in the right position? Can you make it look different to the defense? Right, those are all the things that make offenses seem so complicated when truly they aren't, right? I watched the Rams, the Chiefs, the Dolphins all run the same plays over and over and over again from different looks, and it makes it well, I've already said it. If you choose to play defense, you're inherently not very smart to begin with. Like, what are you doing? You choose to be behind, right? And so given these different looks and different formations and different stems or whatever makes everything look the same. But let's let this run.
Here we go. Now, why you leave Tyreek Hill, I don't know, but we'll see on the replay.
Well, it's zone. Yeah, you're going to see, and whoever called this game did a good job of kind of diagramming what happened and why he is a guy who you should not leave wide open. Because it's like you can't play man against him. You play man against him, it's good night, Irene. You got to dedicate 2 guys, right? So you try to play zone and maybe get pressure on Tua, and maybe he'll make a mistake, right? You go there with Robbie Anderson, and he attracts the attention of the backside safety that will be in the zone in which Tyreek Hill is getting to. The thing is, Tyreek Hill's so fast, he gets over there, right? So usually, you don't get over there in time, right? Either you get to the quarterback or whatever, but he jumps the first crosser, and then Tyreek Hill's running scot-free, and they're almost to Tua, but Tua does a nice job of being off schedule and saying, oh, wait, you're going to give me my guy? The guy I actually want to throw to begin with? That's outstanding. But the point is, elementary concepts with graduate level execution, right? That's an elementary concept. We've seen Michigan run this over and over and over again, and nobody complains when you score 70 about how elementary your concepts are. They're just happy your concepts are destroying the defense, right? And so that's what you get from Michigan, right? You get a bunch of elementary stuff, and that's fine because guess what? The team that scored 70 elementary, the best quarterback in the world, and maybe ever, in some people's opinion, Patrick Mahomes, elementary concepts. And you sprinkle in a couple, fancy footwork, fancy, motions and different things like that. The Rams, Sean McVay, everybody thinks of him as a football genius, right? Especially offensively. Elementary concepts run over and over and over. Everybody's using the same stuff, right? Shanahan, they're all connected, right? The 49ers. Elementary, dude. They were in the same stuff over and over. Oh, except it looks different to the defense. And that's all you have to confuse. You don't have to confuse the fans. Right? The fans don't need to be confused. It needs to be the defense that's confused. And the defense is confused most of the time. And that's why you see guys running open.
All right.
So can we basically, Sam wants you guys to stop. Sam is sick of reading comments and questions about why are we so vanilla with our, we're just running curls. Well, if we're gaining 10 yards on a curl, what's wrong with that? That doesn't make sense to change it up. Why are we not running the curl anymore? Because we already completed 10 yards. We're getting 10 yards of pop on curls. We're getting 17 yards of pop on shallow cross or whatever. To it looks sexier? Are we trying to be sexy now or are we trying to win?
So right? I will grab
and
every
I'm just telling you, one guy, Harbaugh, is not a guy about sexy. He don't care about it being sexy. Win is the most important. Winning is the most important thing. And Michigan's doing a lot of winning for the complaining about the offense and all that, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do that every week now. Is bring something from the NFL.
Find something. And if I see something on my games, it's not NFL, so maybe people are like, oh, it's college. You're just working in the NFL. It's not true.
All right, let's bring in the next play, DG. Play 2 on the list of plays this week. It's right here.
And this is, obviously, again, the throw is outstanding. And I'm going to just tell you how difficult it is when you're throwing to a smaller guy, right? Just not a big target, right? You're throwing to Colson Loveland, bet. It's all good, right? 6'5", long arms, reach high, jump high, all that. But when you're throwing to a smaller guy, it's just not nearly as easy, if you will. And I remember Jeremy Gallen. Right. Jeremy Gallen, 5'6", 5'7" with cleats on, I guess, maybe. Not a big guy, right? Not a lot of range laterally, but he's a dog, right? And so he can go get the ball. But still, when you're looking at a smaller guy run down the field, it's a smaller target to throw the ball to. And that's why everybody loves the big receiver, right? We see how dynamic small guys can be. But guess what? Sometimes quarterbacks suck. And if my quarterback sucks, I can't have no small target out there. He needs a big one, a big target. And so, but this is more about Samaj Morgan. Obviously, a great throw by JJ on the back shoulder. But a young guy who doesn't have a bunch of reps, first Big Ten opportunity. He so many times you see a guy run a slot fade, which is pretty indefensible unless you don't run it correctly. We see a guy just run. Right, just run as fast as he can, and now you get the DB who just closes the gap and squeeze you to the sideline. You can let it play, all right? Usually they just run, right? That's it. They just run away, right? And so now the DB has learned, okay, I'll just squeeze him to the sideline, just keep pushing. As long as I get my eyes back, they won't call pass interference, right? But this young guy who hasn't been in this arena for real, right? He's gotten a couple opportunities, but he ain't really did too much. And this is his first Big Ten game for sure. He goes and steps on the toes first, right? He closes the gap, steps on the toes, and then runs away. And it sets up an opportunity. He doesn't run past him just because the guy's a talented athlete that he's playing against. But now you set up an opportunity where he's scrambling to chase you down, so he doesn't have time to be turning and squeezing. He just got to make sure he get to you, right? Get in phase. And so now you give a window for J.J. McCarthy to throw you the back shoulder on the slot fade, and it's a beautiful work of art that you're going to see right here. right? So you're going to change the play and do all that stuff, right? They probably saw, right? I'm sure Sharon saw, we got man-to-man on our young guy. Let's see if he's ready for his moment. Pause it. That's right. That's what I think happened here. We've seen him do good stuff in practice, right? We've seen, obviously, I talked about on Monday Morning Quarterback how he is a big-time tough catch maker. His game against Catholic Central 2 years ago when he was a senior at West Bloomfield, I have never seen so many tough catches made. And obviously, it's against young guys. It's against high school kids. But as far as the difficulty of the catch, it doesn't matter like who's covering you. If the catch is hard, because the quarterback was, throwing the ball all over the place and just chucking it up. And he is making tough catch after tough catch. I'm like, man, then you go through the year and you see him make all these plays, whatever. And it's like, okay, I don't know if he can do it at the next level, but he's nice. He's good at making tough catches. And I'm sure he's done the same thing in practice. And so, like, hey, let's get this young guy an opportunity to see what he can do. And then he has his moment, right? They got man-to-man, and Sharon says, call this play, and JJ knows where he's going because slot fade is perfect against man-to-man. And he closes the gap, and then starts to run, and then makes a nice catch, right? Back shoulder, perfect throw, and perfect execution by Shamaj Morgan. Look at him. He act like he's been there before. He's so arrogant. I can't stand. He act like he been there before. Like, boy, you ain't been there before. It was good,
man,
though. It was really good.
So after the game, game 2 was UNLV, right?
Yeah.
So I saw him after the game. He was like, and I think that was like, he may have played a few snaps in the opener. In the opener, but in UNLV, he got more snaps, felt like. He's like, oh, I'm about to get one. He was like a touchdown, not a catch.
Of course.
A touchdown.
Because he hadn't had a catch at that point, probably, right? He's like, I'm going to give you one.
I think he might have got one catch in that game.
But that shouldn't make you think you're going to get a touchdown. But, hey, when you got supreme and this is what Josh Gaddis loved about him, and I'm sure you talked to him about it, just the supreme confidence, man. Like, he believes in himself. And, it comes off fairly arrogant a lot.
Hey.
But he believes in himself wholeheartedly. And because he holds himself to that type of esteem, you can make plays like this with 109, 110 watching and act like it is just like, this is just what I do. You know what I mean?
But you know what? I did. Look, you got different kind of players, and to each his own.
Yeah.
But I love dudes like that.
Yeah, he's a fire-breathing dragon.
That's like.
But you got to back it up. And he back it up.
Yeah, you got to back it up.
I told you the story about when he was in high school when his coach tried to come out and kick a field goal, and he was playing quarterback because the quarterback had got hurt, and he was playing quarterback for the last couple games, and it's like 4th and 13 and something crazy, and they can kick a field goal. I think it was a bad decision because earlier they had trouble with their snaps with the field goal. It's probably going to get blocked, ran back for a touchdown. I'm not judging the coach. But he said, no. And so the snapper runs on, and he essentially just choked the dude out and throw him out the game.
Right.
And so he get off the field. And so now they really got no play called because they about to get delayed game because he done kicked the whole extra point team off the field and visibly like, no, I'm not doing it. And then he goes for it. He runs around and throws a touchdown.
Hey, man.
From 30 yards out, 35 yards. And I'm just like, well,
so let me tell you
if you're going to do it, I mean.
I'm confident when I say this.
Yeah.
Mentality-wise.
Yeah.
Just strictly mentality-wise. They ain't had a dude like
He's crazy. He's crazy.
Yeah, he
close
different.
to me. He close to me.
Yeah,
he
got
crazy
that,
like me.
The receiver, like when you think receiver mentality.
Diva. Yeah, that diva attitude.
He's that dude. So,
yeah.
Case in point, you said he blows kisses to the crowd after he gets. So,
like, hey, you're welcome. Hey, expect more of this, but you're welcome.
Right. So, he's in the press conference after the game, right?
Okay, he got a deal. Oh, no.
Hey, they brought him in.
You can't have a dude like that in the press conference. You can't give him a microphone.
They brought him in the press conference. So he's sitting down, right? They asking him about the play.
Yeah.
He's like, coaches had faith in me to win the route, and my quarterback had faith in me to win the route. And so I caught it, and I got to the sideline. So you get to the sideline, everybody patting you on your back, right?
Happy.
And you would think, thanks, coach. Hey, thanks, everybody. And he just thought, whether it was Sharon or Ron or somebody said, we knew you could do it. Said, yeah, me too.
Me too.
It wasn't thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the belief.
Nah, I knew too.
When they called it, he probably was at the line like, I know why y'all calling this play, and I'm about to score a touchdown. Sam, you better get your camera ready. I told you. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. I like that. If you back it up.
If you don't
back it up, then shut your mouth.
See, but I think
you back it up, it's all good.
Just like, you love the Barry Sanders that's cool.
I love that too.
I think you got to have some of both on a team.
You got to have some a-holes. You have to. And he a little a-hole. You have to. It's not. You can't win without him, right? You can't have a bunch of nice guys running around, hand the ball to the ref, not pushing the limits at all. Nobody's really like he's a small little pit bull, but they're gonna be intimidated by him when he really start playing and he can talk junk to people for a whole game and just be in people's head and make plays. That ain't something people want to deal with.
Yeah, man.
And then he's a young Thundercat to where if he ain't catching balls, he gonna run and try to kill somebody and block it like just a gnat. Gnats are annoying. They don't really do nothing. But gnats are annoying, though, ain't they? It make you lose your mind. You can't sleep. It's like, oh, my God, gnats everywhere.
Yeah.
I had fruit earlier,
Yeah, to be a smaller guy, and
his range
Gavin was like this. His catch
radius is really, really good.
Is sick. So just to emphasize one of the points you just made so we can move on, though, you said smaller receivers, like quarterbacks. I mean, as much as you like a guy who can run fast and that kind of thing, but it's just a smaller target.
Yeah.
For quarterbacks, and it made me think, man, Tyreek Hill was a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
As good as that dude is, he was a 5th-round pick, and it's got to be because of his size.
Yeah, and you not even how good, like the speed and all that, but he can help you in special teams too. So like you getting 2 players. You getting return guy, you getting receiver, you getting a little bit of running back type of thing, you know what I mean? So you getting all this value in one pick, and you wait. Nobody saw it. And the reason, if he's 6'1", even if he 6 foot, Tyreek Hill might be the number 1 pick is to run the way he runs. You know what I mean?
But I think I love it when you make these subtle points. Like it's tough for a quarterback to have a smaller target. That's why most quarterbacks don't want to see it.
So a smaller guy looks way more covered than a bigger guy, right? If a defender can be in the same position on a bigger guy, and it's like, oh, I think I can throw him open. And it's like when you're looking at a smaller guy, you don't think you can throw him open as much just because he ain't big, right? He ain't got a lot. His arms ain't long, right? He ain't going to be able to get out there and get to it. But when you got that smaller guy that you can feel comfortable throwing him open, kind of how you just saw with JJ and Samaj, that's deadly, man, because those small guys are dynamic.
Yeah, and so Dolphins gave a 1st-round pick for him, right?
Yes, they should.
And right, no,
I know.
But to your point about a quarterback, so Pat Mahomes throwing to accurate quarterback, he can hit him on a long ball.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense,
of course,
for a Pat Mahomes to have a Tyreek Hill. But if you're gonna trade for him and you want him to be just as good, you better have
You gotta believe in your quarterback.
You gotta believe in your quarterback. Now they were talking about Tua's arm. Tua's like, man,
y'all crazy.
I can get it to where this guy is, and I can get it to him accurately.
Mm-hmm.
And so we gonna be all right.
I was always on Tua as like an outstanding quarterback, franchise changer. That was my words when I described him when he was coming out. Franchise changer, a better version of what Russell Wilson was.
First and second round pick and 2 4th-round picks. That's what they gave up for Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. So you better believe that he is that dude. And the accuracy.
You got that dude to feed that dude.
Yep. The accuracy on this quarterback is taking advantage of what a special talent he is. But not every quarterback. If you put this dude, I wonder what you think. If you had put him with, who's another guy? Justin Herbert. You think
team probably wouldn't win
or Josh Allen. You think he'd be as good with Josh Allen?
I think he'd be good just because, especially if you keep Stephon Diggs, because you're going to get a lot of one-on-ones and you're going to be able to just run past people because he got big arm. But he's not going to be nearly as effective and it ain't going to look as good, I don't think. Not in my opinion. But, not to stay on Tua too long, but Tua is very nice. That no-look pass was dope. It was small. It was a thing that anybody could do. But anybody didn't do it. He did it. And he a dude that ain't the real flashy guy, right? People been coming at him. He did come back at people in the offseason. And he like, hold on now. Y'all taking my humble approach as like I'm soft or something. Like y'all could just say what y'all want, do what y'all want, and I'm not going to whatever. So to see him have a little flash in it of like, he and throw the no look. I thought that was amazing. I love it.
It emphasizes to me your point though, because I think Josh Allen is a great player just in a different way. Like Tua's strength, his ball placement is unbelievable,
elite, super elite.
Right. So he's not going to throw it as far as Josh Allen. He's not going to run it like Josh Allen, right? So, but he can still be really, really super good. And so you put the right weapons around him, which they have. It looks like a video game out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
70 points is not something to come by often.
Speaking of which, on Steady Dropping Dimes, we're going to have to talk about Sean Payton.
He chirper.
We're going
to
not
get into it, but we got to.
Hey, man, he left his franchise quarterback on the field in the fourth quarter.
6 minutes to go, down by 50.
Down by 50 points.
That's wild.
Man.
Hey, that's wild. That is wild. Moving on, but that's wild. That is wild. He a wild boy for that one.
All right, on to the next play. And this was 4 verts, DG, 4 verts.
Yeah, 4 verts, another elementary basic concept. In the graduate level execution, obviously good throw, knowing your guy, knowing you can go up and get it, all that. But the graduate level execution, I think, is on the part of the tight end that's lined up at wide receiver, Colston Loveland. He does an outstanding job. Remember, on the inside receivers, the safety or the person covering, his job is to funnel you to the safety, right? So this is so impressive because Rutgers' guy stays inside, right? He's on the inside he has inside leverage, which is something that's not super normal, right? But in the flow of the game, as he sees he's on inside leverage, he knows his job, his job is to be outside like you see there. I know his job. He's doing this, but I know what his job is, right? So when I give him this jab, he's going to react because he can't allow me to just run outside. Ain't nobody out there, right? The inside is where the help is. So when I give my body language, look at his body, right? His body looks like he's about to run outside, right? So that's just giving him the freedom to, once he sticks that hard jab into the ground, the guy's going to jump outside. He's going to be able to slip inside, right? So this is super impressive. Whoever's teaching these guys how to run these routes, outstanding job. Obviously, Ron Bellamy got to get a bunch of love. And you see how drastic the reaction is? Because his actual job is to be outside, right? And then it frees up the window to throw the ball to him, and a nice throw and a nice grab. That's a big, see what I mean? That's a big target.
Hey, so
big target, man.
Now, listen, this is not me being mean.
I think it is.
It's not.
I don't even know what you're going to say, but I'm telling you it's going to be you being mean.
It's not me.
I know you too well.
It's not
me,
me,
You can say what
Devin.
you want. You're being mean.
I'm just going back to 2021 versus
you definitely being mean.
Versus Washington.
Okay.
4 verts.
You talking about Washington when
Not Washington. Wisconsin. It was
Okay.
at Wisconsin. 4 verts concept. And the same guy wasn't seen. Same guy was open. Was doing this. My point in bringing it up is plays are not being left on the field, DG. Now, I could bring up the tape if you want me to bring up the tape to kind of
no, there's plenty of tape out there. We don't need to bring it up.
But again, I'm giving you actual
Who's the quarterback
examples.
in 21?
I'm giving you actual examples. That's kind of beside the point. Who
It
the
seems
quarterback?
like you're attacking.
No. I'm not. No, what I am emphasizing.
He's crazy. I know
What I'm emphasizing here is we are talking about they aren't doing this and they aren't doing that. Understand that they are these things.
Football is in its best form fairly simple. Right? If you got to do all that, like if you got to do all this, make up all this crazy stuff and reinvent the wheel, that means you don't have a really good team, which is okay. And that's what good coaches do. Your team's not good enough, let's create stuff to make sure that we whatever. But when you got a real good team with good athletes, good players, if you do the routine plays, right, you don't have to have all this confusion for the fans. Like, why? Hey, I've seen that kind of route all the time. Why am I seeing this? It's like we're complaining about this completion because it's just him running straight, right? But when you come here, you see these details, right? Because for Roman Wilson, that was a shallow cross. That just wasn't no regular old shallow cross, right? The details in the way he ran the shallow cross is very graduate level, right? This is just a vertical, but the details and the understanding of what the defense is trying to do as you run this elementary concept is graduate level, right? Even for the young guy, Samaj Morgan, where in your first opportunity, you know why they're calling the play, you're a man-to-man, you know you're going to get it, you have the opportunity to ruin this play by just running, right? Graduate level execution. Make sure you do the disciplined things that you're supposed to do. Ron Bellamy already told you. You got to make sure you close the gap before you run away so you can give your quarterback a chance. I think that that's what you're seeing. And, most of the people that complain, they usually aren't coming here. That's the reason. And so I empathize with you. I feel bad for you that you don't have the information to make sure that you take a deep breath and know it's okay. But, it's available, so I kind of blame you too. I don't empathize as much because if I was a fan, casual fan, trying to learn and make sure I don't have to have a bad day because Michigan football is winning, which is weird, winning, but not winning as much as I think they should, I will make sure I find something such as this to make sure I know the details and understand it's okay and that the team is improving, that our quarterback is playing well, and that the young guys are getting opportunities and doing well. So, I blame you if you know.
All right.
If you don't come to here, I mean, it's on you, right?
You're right. But always happy to do what we do for you on these film studies. We do these film studies strictly for the entertainment, edification, and education of you, the people. We do it that way because we don't own the footage. So if you want to help us continue to do what we do, you can fund the film studies by going to this right here in the comment section. There is a link to the PayPal. You donate it. We go the full 3-month run, and we see, we give DG a big check at the end of the day, and it keeps him in the life to which he's accustomed, moving on up in the sky
to a deluxe apartment
with the
in the
sauna
sky.
and the rooftop pool
here he go.
and all that.
No, you just made up stuff.
Come on, man. Rooftop pool. Is it a heliport up there too?
Hey man,
is it a helipad
I'm not
up
messing
there?
with you, dog.
Is it a helipad
also,
on top of your
people
building?
who don't do the PayPal, slide me a little something on that Gardner Devin J Venmo. And
Hey,
while
he
I'm
gets
with
it
her,
either way.
hey man, slide me a little something. You know what I mean? You say I get it either way. Yeah,
Get it either way.
Yeah.
So-
But then it's like, this week instead of having to wait till the end of the year.
Hey, yeah, the PayPal definitely goes to the end of the year. Yeah. It's a big check at the end of the year.
Big check. I'm going to Hawaii. Hopefully it's enough of there and I can go to Hawaii.
So,
Can somebody send me to Hawaii? I know y'all got a lot of connections. I mean, you might as well. Somebody send me to Hawaii. Let me know. I don't got a game next week. Send me to Hawaii next week.
So I know closed mouths don't get fed,
That's what I'm
DG.
saying.
But you got, let's manage to ask.
Somebody probably got a private jet.
So-
somebody maybe has like a timeshare there. Somebody maybe got like some free flights or some kind. I don't know. You just don't know. So it's like, hey.
So if somebody want to
do that,
somebody
why
want
not?
to take you to Hawaii with them, you like cool.
With them. I was saying I wanted to go because I always want some time to myself. Is what I'm saying.
'Cause I'm sure sure there's some viewers
Hawaii
that be
is
like,
super nice. You know what I mean? So you want to take me to Hawaii with you? I mean, I can think about it. You know what I mean? What is wrong with him? What is wrong with you? What is wrong?
hey, I'm just saying you
already in Monday Morning Quarterback talking about DG on the menu, and I'm just saying on the menu, like being at the thing,
Hey,
you talking about.
That's what I'm saying. You better make sure that you put it out there very plainly, because you will have some takers, brother. You will have some takers.
This has been another Monday Morning Quarterback Film Study brought to you by no one. We are not sullied by sponsorship. Sam's crazy, obviously.
I think sullied is the wrong word. There is nothing wrong with sponsorship if you own the footage, which we don't. So that's why we got to do it this way. All right, folks, we will see you next time. Be sure to tune in for Steady Dropping Dimes on Wednesday, 3 until 4. That's more DG. That's my man Daniel Horton, and that's a lot of sports topics. And there's
Sam
lot
on the menu on Wednesdays.
No. Hey, man, my wife will kill me.
You ain't nobody see you.
You understand? Right? But, hey, my wife, we was reading all those headlines. It's like, hey, you not taking no calls at night, are you? I was like, wait, whoa. How did this even get on me? Why are we talking about me taking calls at night?
Who you on the phone with? Nah, one thing about Sam be working, man.
All the time.
Sam is busy. He don't got time for nothing else.
All the time.
All the time.
So anyway, folks, we have fun. Hope you did too. We will see you Wednesday on Steady Dropping Dimes. Be sure to lock that in. You should be getting a notification if you subscribe to the channel. If you don't, subscribe now. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching another edition of the Michigan Football Film Study. We'll see you next time.